everyone, welcome to Little-Homestead. My name is Emily and this is my little buddy Jax. Today I will be walking you through my homemade granola bar recipe. It's a very simple recipe and it actually utilizes ingredients that you probably already have in your kitchen. So let's get started.
So the recipe calls for 2.5 cups of old-fashioned oats, a half cup of peanuts, a quarter cup of honey, a quarter teaspoon of salt, a quarter cup of peanut butter, 1/3 cup of brown sugar, a quarter cup of butter, and a half cup of chocolate chips. I use the minis, or if you don't like chocolate chips, you can also add any other dry additive you would want to. So the first step is to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. After it has preheated, you can pour out your 2.5 cups of your old-fashioned oats onto a sheet pan. I did not spray mine, they didn't stick at all. So you're going to try to spread them out evenly. That way they bake or toast at a more even rate so you don't end up with some raw and some burned. So then you are going to place those in your oven. I put mine on the lower shelf. It's more in the middle of my oven. I don't think it really particularly matters. And I bake these for about 8 or so minutes or until they're golden brown. Then while those are baking, I'm going to get the granola sauce ready. And that one is with a quarter cup of honey. I did run out of my first jar. I had to start a second one. So you pour that out, and then you have to get the 1/3 cup of brown sugar. I did pack this in pretty tightly. Oh, and a tip to keep your brown sugar soft is to add a damp paper towel to it, because my brown sugar was so hard. It was like rock hard when I bought it. Didn't realize it. That did the trick. And then over a medium heat, I placed the quarter cup of butter into the pot. And then I added the other two ingredients, the brown sugar and the honey. And then I let this simmer and melt down. And then afterwards, I'll add the peanut butter and the salt. Alright, at this point, after everything is melted, I'm adding the peanut butter. And the peanut butter is optional. It wasn't in the original recipe I had found, but I added it because I wanted a little bit of that extra peanut buttery taste in there. And we did use a honey roasted Peter Pan creamy peanut butter. That is the only peanut butter that is in the house. So that worked. You can use any peanut butter you want though. And then at the very end, I added a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and then just mixed that right on in. And that is the last step in making the sauce. And while the sauce is being made, I chop up my peanuts and put them in a bowl with the toasted nuts after that is out of the oven. Oh, and you can also use one of those chopper thingies. Forget what they're called. Maybe they're called a chopper. I'm forgetting, I'm blanking at this point in time. But I did just use a knife today. And you can use any nut or any other dry option that you wanted to. I know a lot of people have nut or peanut allergies. This is a very versatile granola bar recipe. Alright, and then here is my oats and chopped nuts in a bowl, and then you just add the sauce to that. You want to make sure the sauce is still pretty hot, because you want to be able to coat all of the oats and the peanuts. And then you want to make sure that you get that in the fridge to cool down before you add any chocolate or any other thing that might melt, because then you're just going to end up with a goopy, sloppy mess. So I popped this in the fridge for a little bit and made sure it was pretty much down to room temperature before I added the chocolate chips to it. You can also let it sit at room temp to cool down as well. I just didn't have a lot of time that evening, so I wanted to get that done. Alright, and then this is after it has cooled in the fridge. I added the 1/2 cup of chocolate chips, and then I just stirred it around till they were evenly distributed. And this was extremely hard to stir because I left it in the fridge, I guess a little too long, because I was trying really hard not to accidentally fling this out of the bowl while I was mixing in those chocolate chips. And in retrospect, the spatula is probably not the best option to stir with. I probably just should have used a metal spoon. And then you press this out into a sheet pan lined with foil into a rectangular shape. Fortunately, I didn't catch that. And then I did figure out the trick to making sure it actually stays in bar form, and that is to pre-cut it before you let it sit in the fridge and harden. Because after you let it cool, it does not break apart evenly, it crumbles apart, and it just makes regular granola. So to make the bars, I pre-cut them. That way they just come right apart after they have chilled in the fridge. I also had slid the foil off of the pan to cut them, that way I could get more even cuts. Then I put them back on the pan and push the foil back up just to press that granola in to help that bar form stay. And then I am popping them into the fridge, and I'll probably let them chill for about like an hour or so, just until they're nice and cold and solid. And then they easily pop right apart, and I just use a knife and just put a little pressure. I didn't have to put a lot of pressure at all to pop these apart, and they stayed really nice. Yep, just a little pressure there, comes right off. And this recipe does make 8 bars. At least that's what I get out of it. I'm sure you could adjust that. You could always double this recipe and fill the entire half a sheet pan and get 16 out. I haven't had an issue with them going bad at all. Of course, they don't last long in this house at all, but I'm sure they would last a decent amount of time. There's really nothing in there that would spoil quickly. And then I keep these in my dry goods basket, I guess. And I put them in Ziploc bags for easy transport. And you could also wrap them in pieces of foil. I have done that as well. And yep, there they are. Don't they look gorgeous? Oh, I'm drooling thinking about them right now. They are so good. Thank you guys for watching again, and stay tuned for my little video at the end, I guess.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you like that granola bar recipe as much as we do. And if you would like to see a specific recipe, let me know in the comments below, and I will try to make that for you guys. And also, if you could hit that like button if you like the video, and be sure to hit that subscribe button so that way you know when a video of mine is being posted. Thank you for joining me again today, and I'll see you guys next time.